Thank you for being here. We begin with a terrible story out of the West Valley. Buckeye, a 4-year-old girl is dead. Police say she was left in a hot car for several hours in front of a home there. Hello, everybody. I'm Troy Hayden. This tragedy unfolding this afternoon in McDowell Road and Verrado Way, and that's where we find 12 News journalist Gabriela Becerra with an update from investigators. Gabriela.
Troy, we've learned the child was left in the car around 2 o'clock this afternoon. Her family called 911 around 5 o'clock, but by then it was too late for first responders to save her.
This is not the outcome that anyone wants.
A 4-year-old girl died in a hot car on Sunday afternoon. The car was parked in front of her family's Buckeye home near McDowell Road and Verrado Way. The girl was left inside after a trip to a nearby park.
Everyone unloaded out of the vehicle and went inside the home, or at least that's what was assumed.
Buckeye police say officers responded to calls from a family member at least 2 hours later, saying they didn't realize the girl never left the car. She was unresponsive when they found her.
Began CPR. They attempted to use an AED on the little girl before medics arrived and were able to transport her to the hospital for continued care.
The girl was declared dead at the hospital. Investigators say the outside temperature was around 107 degrees at the time of the incident. The car's internal temperature was over 130 degrees.
This extreme heat, these temperatures are nothing to play with, and time is absolutely of the essence.
This young girl is the 30th child in the United States and the third in Arizona to die in a hot car so far in 2024, according to Kids and Car Safety.
The message is always look before you lock.
Officials are stressing to parents, guardians, and caretakers to always check the back seat before leaving a car.
Even if it's putting your wallet or your purse in the back seat with your child so that you're forced to look in that back seat before you leave your vehicle.
And this investigation is ongoing, so there's some things that investigators don't know or can't tell us yet, like if the child was restricted in a car seat, if the child locks were on in the car, or if any charges will be referred in this case. Live in Buckeye, Gabriela Becerra, 12 News.
Gabriela, thank you. Our other big story tonight, police say a drunk driver behind the wheel of a truck that slammed into an Elks Lodge at Apache Junction. Some 30 people were injured in the crash. This is a story brought to you as breaking news last night. Paramedics transported 10 people to the hospital. Another 5 drove themselves there. Tonight, officials say one person's in critical but stable condition. Police arrested the driver, 73-year-old Thomas Kane. Authorities say he was at the Elks Lodge, then got into his truck to leave, but instead drove into that building. And again, police say alcohol played a role in this crash. Also developing out of Apache Junction, an elderly man is dead and the person suspected of killing him is arrested. Police responded to a call about a homicide near North Palo Verde Drive and Apache Trail about 4:30 this afternoon. Officers say they quickly took the suspect into custody nearby, and police have not talked about a motive or identified the victim or said how he died. Tonight, the NTSB is trying to figure out what caused a single-engine plane to crash right next to a home in Cottonwood. Look how close this was. This happened on Spur Drive this morning. The pilot is undergoing treatment. It did survive at a Phoenix hospital. Nobody on the ground was hurt. We're learning more about a motorcyclist who was hit head-on by a school bus. The man died instantly, and tonight his family is speaking with 12 News journalist Gabriela Becerra about how he is being remembered.
Of all the ways to describe Michael Pabst, proud does it best.
He was a proud American. He was a proud retired vet. He was a proud Packers fan.
Pabst was a loving husband, father, grandfather, friend, and neighbor.
He would be willing to give the shirt off his back to a stranger. My dad, is willing to do anything and everything for anybody.
Second to his family, Pabst loved his Harley. So when the bike in Pabst didn't return home Friday afternoon, his family knew something was wrong.
He takes the same route every day. Every day. He'll call my mom, hey, I'm on my way home.
No show and no call led his daughter to Facebook, where she learned a crash involving a motorcyclist happened near Litchfield and Glendale roads. Courtney's gut feeling led her straight to the scene.
I was like, I think that's my dad. I think that's my dad. I need to know if that's my dad.
Her worst fear came true. Glendale police say Pabst swerved to avoid a crash with a car when he was hit head-on by a school bus. He died instantly.
We want to know if he knew going out of this world if we loved him. Even though, we do. but
The reassurance.
the reassurance before he went out.
Pap's family is now leaning on the strangers in a city her father loved.
The amount of support that we've gotten from the community is unbearable. It is unbelievable.
And stressing the importance of saying I love you because you never know when it could be your last.
Your helmet.
Wear your helmet.
Wear your safety gear. Even though it doesn't look cool, wear them.
And just for drivers to watch out for the riders.
Be courteous.
Be courteous, give them the distance that they need.
Gabriella Becerra, 12 News.
All right, let's turn now to weather, and it was another hot one today, Lindsay. Here we go again, 110, adding to our record number of 110 days. But you're giving us some good news. You say cooler weather is in sight.
Yes, and if you want to say 100, that is cooler compared to where we have been. That's where we're headed by next weekend. So things will start to feel a little bit better. Today, as we reached 110 degrees, we tied a record. The record was 110. That was set last year. Average right now 104. And today was the 59th day this summer where we hit 110 or higher, which is a record for the summer. Current temps right now, we're down 12 degrees to 98 degrees. It is 99 in Lake Havasu, 50s and 60s up in the high country. Radar pretty quiet. We do have a couple lingering showers across northwestern Arizona. The rest of the state is entirely dry. Here's a look at our exclusive 12 News monsoon meter for tomorrow. And tomorrow will be another hot and dry day right here in the valley. We do have a 4 for northern Arizona. That's going to be where we have the highest concentration of afternoon showers and thunderstorms north of I-40. We'll have a couple out toward the White Mountains and also an isolated storm near Kingman, but the rest of western Arizona will remain dry for tomorrow afternoon. Troy?
All right, Lindsay, you've seen a few minutes. All right, you've probably seen this guy on your social media feed. He's the creator of something called Dock Talk. So he sits on a lake, basically on a dock, and tells dad jokes. 12 News journalist William Pitts introduces us to the business of bad puns.
So people ask you, what do you do?
I tell them I do dad jokes.
My wife complains I don't buy her flowers. To be honest, I never knew she sold flowers.
Logan Lyle, a.k.a. Doc Talk, makes a living out of this.
I told my doctor I need help. I'm addicted to Instagram. He looked confused. Said, sorry, I'm not following you.
Two guys on a dock telling dad jokes.
That's the whole idea, but no one else thought of it. Logan was originally a wedding videographer from California. Doc Talk came from a quick video he did a few years ago.
About a year and a half later, TikTok comes out, and I decided to take a little clip of that video, put it on TikTok. It blew up. Fast forward 4 years later, I'm still doing it.
What do you call a knight who's afraid to fight?
Huh.
Surrender.
It's not the joke. It's that no one reacts to the joke.
No, I think it's me and my brothers just characters when we film. We're not much of like actors.
And he bases the whole thing out of his house in Phoenix, where, in case you haven't noticed, there's something missing.
You live in Arizona where there is no dock.
Yeah, yep. We try to find a few docks around here, but it's not as picturesque.
No dock. Instead, Logan goes to San Diego or Lake Tahoe to find his dock and tell his dad jokes. Which brings us to another thing that's missing.
You're not even a dad.
Nope.
No doc, no dad. But that hasn't stopped Logan from basically being the most prolific poster of puns on the internet and creating a dad joke empire. Logan wrote a book, has his own coffee line, product endorsements, celebrity cameos.
How about the convenience store beer theft?
Yeah, it's a cold case.
Yeah, I would never imagine I would be doing this, but now that I'm here, it's like it feels like it's just been part of the process, and it's been so fun.
My dog used to chase people on a bike. You know what I did to stop him? I took his bike away.
And the future of Doc Talk may be worldwide, or at least wherever the puns take him.
I want to go other places. I want to go to Oregon. I want to go to Montana, find all kinds of cool docks. Kind of the future of Doc Talk is what I want to do.
Maybe own a dock one day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I threw a boomerang a couple years ago. I now live in constant fear.
William Pitts, 12 News.
I shouldn't find myself laughing at those jokes, but yes, here we are. All right, chances are, and good for him. You've heard about search and rescue dogs, of course, but how about a search and rescue otter? Yes, the cute, intelligent animals being put to a whole new use, and one of those otters is from right here in the valley. My wife, Christy, runs the Wildlife World Zoo. She tipped me off to the story. Her zoo recently donated an otter to a search and rescue group in Florida. And because otters are so smart and the only mammal that can detect odors underwater, the group thinks this little otter will soon do big things.
We'll see. What? What do you think?
Meet Splash, one of the world's first ever search and rescue otters. An animal born right here in the valley, now being trained to find evidence and victims using his very unique abilities. Veteran search and rescue diver Mike Hadsell came up with this program.
I had read an article that said that otters were the only mammals that have odor detection underwater. And I kept thinking to myself, well, why can't we get these guys to work for us? Is it possible to do that?
Not only is it possible, it's working. Search and rescue diving is dangerous work. Swift currents, near zero visibility, underwater hazards. Divers use guide ropes to sometimes blindly follow grids in their search, using their hands to feel for victims and objects. In Florida, has its own unique water search challenges.
They get into a canal or a river and an alligator gets to them before we do. The gator will take the remains and stuff it somewhere, and it makes it very difficult to find. And so the dogs get us into the area, but they can't get us from the boat to the bottom and show us exactly where it's at. So the otter was designed to get us from the boat to the bottom and show us exactly where the remains are located.
That's amazing. It's crazy how they can do that.
Jeff Beals is the aquarium curator at the Wildlife World Zoo in the West Valley. The zoo donated Splash free of charge to the search and rescue program in Florida. Jeff knows otters have amazing skills for this job.
Not only can they smell items underwater, they can also pick up on cues, on trails, smell trails. So, an item might be way down there, but because it's been dissolved underwater and the water is moving toward the otter, they can pinpoint right to it because they get the trail.
So otters don't exactly smell water. They smell their own breath under the water. It's an interesting process.
It's a bubble technique. What they'll do, Troy, is they'll go underwater and they will expire a breath cycle. So exhale, inhale, and they'll
shooting the air out of their
yeah,
mouth,
shooting
and
the
pulling
bubbles
it back in?
and pulling it right back in. Like I said, up to about 10 times a second. And that allows them to more or less taste the water, smell the water.
So right now, Mike is working daily with Splash in his pool in Florida, helping him hone his skills, hiding a scent, in this case, behind his pool light. And Splash goes right to it. And even though he's not fully trained yet, Splash is already helping solve crimes. He found a key piece of evidence while Mike was recently at an active scene, and he was persuaded by searchers to put Splash into the water to help. So he sniffed out the scent and went down and alerted to it.
Threw a marker and the diver went, and there it was.
In the next couple of months, Splash should be fully trained to help divers go directly to victims and evidence. Skeptics once questioned the idea, but now using a search and rescue otter doesn't seem so crazy.
Oh, that's nuts. And you can't do it, all this stuff. And now they're watching the videos. They're seeing his training progress. And I was just out on a case this weekend, and the guy from Fish and Wildlife came up to me and he says, I want you to get me an otter because I want to do this too. So Mike says Splash has about another month or two of training before he's ready to really get to work in the field. So we're going to follow up with him to see how Splash is doing. Now another interesting story. We're hearing from a Gilbert couple. They spent $400,000 suing Disneyland after being banned from an exclusive and mysterious club that's inside the park. It's called Club 33. The couple had their access to that club revoked, they say unfairly. 12 News journalist Tricia Hendricks has this story.
My wife's loved Disney her whole life.
As any avid Disney person that would be your dream, would be to be a member of Club 33.
After saving up for 20 years and being on a wait list for a decade, Scott and Diana Anderson finally got an invite to join Disney's exclusive Club 33 in 2012.
It's like 4 times as much money as we thought it was going to be. And it was like, okay, great, but I mean, this is our world at this point.
It was pricey.
$10,000 back when we first joined. Today, that membership is $32,000.
But well worth it in their eyes.
We had just tons of amazing experiences.
You have so many benefits.
We had dinner inside the Haunted Mansion.
It quickly became a place they took family, friends, and employees, spending nearly $125,000 a year on Disney fun. But that all ended in 2017, when Disney revoked their membership from the private club after an allegation Scott was drunk in public.
I had 2 beers and a half a glass of wine.
A security guard reportedly testified in court they found him near the entrance of California Adventure displaying signs of what they took to be intoxication, and the club swiftly ousted them. But according to Scott, Disney made the decision without results from a breathalyzer or blood test and no videos of his behavior. He believes the symptoms were caused by a medical condition triggered by red wine.
He absolutely was not drunk.
I wasn't found to be drunk in the park. I had a vestibular migraine in the park, which was horrific.
Ever since then, they've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to get their membership back. Fast forward to last week, an Orange County jury rejected their claim that Disney ousted them improperly.
My head just went down.
The days of Disney VIP experiences and exclusive lounges no longer. According to the LA Times, an attorney representing Disney said Club 33 membership guidelines forbid public intoxication and that they did not want to pay the consequences of failing to follow the rules. The Andersons believe Club 33 targeted them for retaliation because they had complained about a club member harassing other members and staff.
They targeted us for that. They wanted us out.
But the Superior Court judge curtailed that line of evidence.
We were trying to protect the staff and members' guests. Instead, I got terminated.
For the Andersons, after spending $400,000 on the lawsuit, they say the case isn't over.
We are going to continue the fight.
Only time will tell. Trisha Hendricks, 12 News.